Hey everybody, welcome to Fit Tip Tuesday. I am so sorry that I didn't have an episode last week. I had one of these non-COVID colds that really made me want to lay down most of the week, so I apologize for not shooting something last week. This week, I am turning my focus to summer sleeves. I got a question in one of my Anna Dress classes about having a short sleeve versus having a cap sleeve. So the dress I'm wearing now has a cap sleeve. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see that really the reason why it's called a cap sleeve is because it really kind of just caps your shoulder and there isn't a lot of sleeve length. Now this is a little bit different than a short sleeve because if you look here, you'll see a short sleeve kind of has a hem that is parallel to the floor or close to parallel to the floor. It covers more of the outside of your arm and your bicep. So I'm going to show you how to shorten a long sleeve into a short sleeve, and then I'm also going to show you how to make a cap sleeve. So if you would like a little more coverage, so you'll notice if I flap my arms around, you know, this is a little bit more coverage for you know, if you don't want your underarms to show and you just want to have a little bit of coverage on your shoulder. And just between you and me, I love to wear this dress if I'm going to be out in the sun because it covers the tops of my shoulders. And actually I made a very a jewel crew neckline, which also protects my cleavage from the sun. So sometimes it's nice to have that little bit of coverage and not have a sleeve, because really in the summer I'm even hard pressed to wear a short sleeve because I'm always so warm. So this is a really cool option for the summer. Also good for layering, so if you're going to put a cardigan over it or a jacket, it's not bulky. So let's start by looking at these two basic sleeves here, and we're going to do the short sleeve first because the short sleeve is real easy. Basically what you're going to do is you're going to decide how long you want your underarm seam to be. You're going to measure that on both sides of your sleeve. So let's say I'm going to go down 4 inches here. And I mean, this is not to scale, obviously this is a small pattern piece, like a little half scale. But basically you need these two seams to agree because they sew together. So after you've marked that, you're just going to draw a line and you're going to cut it off. Now the reason why I'm cutting off all of this is because, you know, we're making a short sleeve, so we want it to fit this area. If I were to shorten it by slashing and overlapping, I'd be pulling up the narrow part of the sleeve onto the wider part of your sleeve. So let me just cut this off to show you here. So basically this is my new short sleeve. Okay, and actually let me just tape this back on for a second here. So, all right. So you can see this is tapered. So if you wanted to create a hem allowance, what you would do is you would fold it on your finished length, okay, like this. Then you're going to cut out your underarm seams through both those layers, like this. Okay, so when I open it back up, you can see what's happened now is I have the shape that you need to fold it on itself. So let's say I just want a 1 inch allowance here. You know, it could be a 1/2 inch, it could be 3/4. You know, whatever your hem allowance is. Now I can cut this off. Okay, and I've got a short sleeve that I can hem and it will match because I created a shaped hem for this short sleeve. So that's how you create a short sleeve. Very, very easy. Now I'm going to show you how to create a cap sleeve. So I have another version of my sleeve here, and the first thing you're going to do again is decide how long you'd like that little underarm seam. Now the dress I'm wearing has just an inch. So basically it's enough to sew into the seam and then have a seam to finish the hem edge, and I'll show you that in a minute. So let's make a short, I'm going to make it 1.25 inches to allow for my allowances. All right, so I'm going to just measure from my bicep line down, you know, make sure that this is the same length as this. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that off. Okay, so this would be a very, very short sleeve. This is not a cap sleeve yet. To get the cap sleeve shape, we have 2 more steps. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to decide how much fabric we want from our tip of our shoulder down to our hem. And this could be an inch, it could be 3 inches, it could be, you know, 4 inches, whatever you decide from the cap to the hem, that's going to be our next adjustment. So I'm going to go ahead and let's say I'm going to take off, or I'm going to mark an inch here. I want to get rid of an inch of this depth of my cap here in the center of the sleeve. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, well, first I'm going to dash. So I'm going to dash in like this to the line that I drew. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold it. Oh, actually, hold on. Let me just cut out my underarm seams here. I'm going to fold it in half so those match like this. And this is a way where I can make sure it's going to be symmetrical. So instead of dashing that line all the way across, what I'm going to do here is I'm literally going to cut that shape out. Okay, well, let's open it up and look and see what we have. Okay, so now you can see this is more like that cap's shape that I have on. We have one more adjustment to make. This curved edge is longer than the straight edge that I cut off. Okay, so let's look at this. So basically the curve that we cut off will stretch longer than the straight edge here. So to compensate for that, I'm literally going to measure in 1/4 inch on each side, and I'm going to angle in that little underarm seam 1/4 inch like this. Oops. And that's going to take up some of that extra length. Okay, so now I'm going to cut out my cap sleeve. I'll just cut it all the way out here. Okay, so that's what a cap sleeve looks like. Now, how did I finish the edge of my cap sleeve? I cut out 2 of these for each sleeve, so a total of 4 cap sleeve pieces. I sewed them, I put them right sides together, and I sewed them right along the hem like this. Then I flipped it up and treated the sleeve as if it were one layer of fabric when I sewed it into the armhole. So that's how you can finish this curved edge, okay, for your cap sleeve. So keep in mind when you're deciding how long you want your underarm seam to be, that you do have a seam allowance here if you're going to finish it, and you also have your seam allowance here. Just make a note of your seam allowances so you're not, you know, making it too short. All right, so that's how you create a cap sleeve versus just shortening the sleeve. If you have any questions or comments about that, please post those below and I will help you. This week I have 2 classes I'm teaching. Friday I'm teaching for the virtual Houston Quilt Festival. I'm teaching my Great Rub-Off class. I will put a link to that class below. There's still time to register if you'd like to join me for that. If you've been curious about the Great Rub-Off and you haven't had a chance to come to a class yet, this is a really economical option. I think the class costs $20. It's an hour-and-a-half masterclass. And during that time, I will show you the entire process of rubbing off a tank top, a t-shirt, a princess seam dress, and a pair of shorts. During class, I will have a coupon code for students for half off my Great Rub-Off workbook. So if you'd like to have a printed copy of, or a paper copy that you can print, that will be available for a very reasonable price. So if you want to join me for that, click the link below this video. And then on Saturday, I'm going to be doing my 3rd class for the Anna dress. And I'll just show you here. I'm super excited. This is the Anna dress that I made during class. Let me just bring her up here. Isn't she pretty? She can do a twirl. She's on my ditto form. This is for my daughter Anna, and she put this on, and the smile was worth its weight in gold. She loves this dress. She said, "This is my new favorite Anna dress." So I'll be working on finishing the V neckline in that on Saturday. So that's what I'll be doing this weekend. I hope you guys enjoy Fit Tip Tuesdays. If you have any topics that you'd like to see in an upcoming video, please post those below, because I do love to do subscriber Q&A. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again very soon.